Look guys. I wait to see his position before I play the ball. After I loop, I see him moving to my forehand. So I go straight down the line. Without this adjustment, you rush the shot. So you want to finish the point in one shot. I understand that mindset. The more you rush, the more unforced errors you make. You know it yourself when you play matches. You lose points by rushing. So why can't we slow this shot down? Even if I get pressured, it's still a change. For amateur players, most mistakes come from rushing, not from being jammed. So you need to accept being jammed. And slow down. So how do we maintain this rhythm? Look, after I loop, I change direction. Remember this, after the first loop against backspin. Recover back to the forehand position, don't recover using only the arm. Use your core to bring the arm back, then use the body to send the arm forward. At first, you feel like you're late. Actually, everyone feels late. Through continuous practice, eventually you'll make it in time. If you feel late now, it's because you still value that next shot too much. You want to rush and attack the next ball. Spend a few days focusing on this in training. After you loop, let the body lead the arm. Once you learn it, it benefits you for life. Many of our mistakes are caused by ourselves. It's not that the opponent is too strong. It's that we make too many errors. No body adjustment, no footwork adjustment. So you miss these easy opportunities. Your force direction must match the arm. For example, body down then up. The body and arm must work as a unit. Looping is also down then up. Many amateur players do it like this. The arm finishes first while the body is still going down. Opposite directions don't work. So how do we coordinate the body and arm better? When my arm goes down, my body goes down. When my arm goes back, my body follows back. When my arm goes forward, my body follows forward. The arm is the leader. The body is the driver. Where the leader wants to go, the driver must drive there smoothly. Look at my first backhand loop, my center of gravity goes down. Naturally, the arm and body combine their force. This shot used very little power, about 20%. This one used around 60–70. Today we're talking about rhythm. After the first backhand loop, what about the second ball? The biggest problem is not recovering. After looping, I need to bring my body back in again. The follow-through doesn't mean staying tight to the body. But after looping, the body and arm shouldn't separate too far. Watch my body loop, recover, then hit. When you complete the motion, you naturally stop rushing. You can't just block it out and rally like that. Loop first. Then bring the body into a compact, coiled position. Then continue. That's the backhand. Look at my body movement. It's a continuous cycle of moving forward and pulling inward. The rhythm is very stable. Backhand is different from forehand. After a forehand loop, the body drives the arm to rotate. After a backhand loop, pulling the body inward is same as the body rotation. You must coordinate body power. Now, let's talk about timing. After you serve long, when the return comes back, you have an attacking opportunity. Let me ask you a question. After serving side spin topspin, should you hit on the rise, at the peak, or early falling? Feel it. Follow your feeling. Which timing is it? Yes, the peak. Hitting too early on the rise causes your errors. But the rising phase can also work, but you must use the opponent's power. When you apply your own power, it must be at the peak. If you want power, hit at the peak. Let me explain. The rising phase is for using incoming power. This applies to both forehand and backhand. Even pushes. The peak is for your own power, including backhand. The early falling phase is for adding spin. For example, waiting a bit on backspin to add more spin. So after you serve, you want power and you rush the timing. That's the root cause of your mistakes. It's about doing the right thing at the right timing. It's not an absolute rule. But these 3 actions for these 3 timings make the ball more stable and reasonable. Remember the professional players. They always rally like this. You often see this ripping shot on TV. Which timing is that? Right, the rising phase. That's all using incoming power. I borrow his power, and the return is still high quality. So why do top-level rallies use borrowed power? Because there's no time to swing big, the speed is too fast. In high-level exchanges, there aren't many chances to use full power. For us amateurs, our opponents aren't at the level of players like Tomokazu Harimoto or Hugo Calderano. So we must learn how to active power by ourselves. Using incoming power is more common in high-level rallies. Let me imitate a beginner. A beginner pushes the ball. Because beginners like to just touch the ball. So many of their pushes look like this. In rallies, the ball is often soft and slow, so you can't use incoming power. That's why when you first start playing, you tend to stand very close to the table. At a higher level, you need to learn to use incoming power. In a normal backhand rally, you must read your opponent's level. Adjust your rhythm based on that. If your opponent likes to use power, you use their power. If they play very soft balls, you can't find the timing. Sometimes you serve and they just touch it back. That causes many errors. Look, I'm 1 arm's length from the table. Can this ball still reach me? It still comes long. It's still playable. Sometimes you don't need to move your feet, but you must wait for the ball. Otherwise, step in. If you want to take it early, you must step in. Or you can wait for the ball, both work. So when do you make mistakes? Because you rush the timing without stepping in. If you can control the rhythm, you can beat many players at your level. Even if your technique isn't perfect. Just practice this hook side spin serve. When they push, the ball goes high. When they use power, it goes out. So they can only block. From then on, the rhythm is yours. If they wait on the forehand, play to the backhand. If they stand in the middle, play to both corners. I don't swing big, I use borrowed power with a compact motion. If the return is slow, wait and check their position. Same principle as the backhand.